Okay. Yeah. Good evening, dear conveners. So today's session is the extension of our expression from the field, which we could not complete during our convention, and that was purely because of the certain time constraints. So now today we are very happy to unite again on Zoom platform and listen to our conveners who willingly accepted our request and are here to share with us the iconic works which they have undertaken in their respective chapters. To begin the session, I first invite our convener of Anegundi-Hampi chapter, this Shama Pawar, who will be speaking to us on rural development in heritage setting, Anegundi-Hampi. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shuklaji, and everybody for being here. It's really wonderful that we can manage this today. I'm in Bangalore, so I might have some hitches. Actually, in Anegundi, the network is better. Anyway, I'm just going to start without wasting time. So, one mantapa that you can see on the right side of this particular slide is a 64 pillared mantapa that represents 64 arts. It's located in Anegundi, and one of my most interesting things about it that none of the really updated even today. I would like to share this another time, but it talks about simple mechanical devices, agriculture, architecture, self-grooming, medicine, everything. So, which is still very relevant. So, to me, this is the most tangible and intangible monument of Hampi that I really am very, very fond of. As intact, we have been creating a lot of plans and mapping because in 2017 we did sign something with an MOU with the DOT, Department of Tourism. But we have not able to take our projects forward. We've had lots of problems with happens emerging problem, but also UNESCO has inscribed it as a group of monuments. And actually, it is not just a group of monuments. There are 30 villages, so it's a very large area with many. And this is only Koppal district because that's where my deepest study has happened, which is considered the uh, Hanuman's birthplace, and it's becoming a bigger pilgrimage. So in all of these, this entire mapping, basically, even though it is a physical mapping, it connects to the local communities. It is not devoid of what roles will community play and things like that. So the mapping has been in such a way that it actually augments livelihoods, engagements, and cultural practices to continue of this cultural landscape. You can see this valley. This is the irrigated valleys of Hampi are very famous. On the right side, I've just stuck the image of aqueduct. I'm moving. Sorry. So that basically there's a lot of very ancient irrigation system, which in a way it irrigates every inch of cultivated land. But it also, I mean, like, to me, it would be like if we had more biodiversity in this thing, it will conserve the soil because of over irrigation and the chemical fertilizers are actually killing this very fertile valley and many valleys. This is Anegundi village, which is a historic village where my primary work has been in physical sense, where we have adaptive reuse and everything, and I'd like to share this. Some of the projects here you can see is on the left side is adaptive reuse of houses, solid waste management, plantation, interaction with kids, youth, crafts, and cultural events, which are basically zero impact on environment. One of the first things we started to do is the solid waste management that goes on. We have taught the sweepers a whole lot of like quality and quantity, but all of our work is at grassroots. And until we became really famous as a pilgrimage, and even tourism came in, it was only our garbage that we had to manage. Now it's going beyond our capacity. This is through Narega. We were once successful to get all the convergences. Like through Narega, we cleaned up all the street troubles and everything, and it made a huge difference, as you can see. And these are our young intact members that went for a walk after that. So right from the beginning, and we continue to work with the youth, trying to communicate concerns of heritage conservation, adaptive reuse, environment, and cultural practices. We used our sister concern, the Kishkinda Trust. I'm founder of. With this, we have started education to performing arts. But this particular monument, which is the backdrop, I had, as intact convener, we pointed this out to Deccan Heritage Commission and had it restored. This is one of the things that I saw when the fashion show was happening, which was very vulgar and all in synthetic polyester. So we kind of reintroduced the local community about the folk practices by having a costume show by the younger kids. This is a little bit in the past, but this is some of our works. We also invite students of architecture, design, conservation, uh, various uh, agriculture, rural development, panchayat raj, etc., to come and interact with our communities and strengthen or bridge the gap. Sorry, bridge the gap between the urban and the rural, but without trying to make the rural urban. We are only looking at how we can share exchanges which are more conservation friendly and has a positive impact and towards livelihood. So these are our students from one is from Sushti, from one is from Gadag RDPR, one from high school. So we communicate this as this was part of the craft tourism village project, which kind of derailed, but this is our workshop of the sister concern. And you can see, even though it is a village architecture or whatever, in whatever way we have tried to make it as beautiful as it can be. Uh, Skilling, so working with natural materials, or the house on the left you can see in this slide was something that was uh, supported by UNESCO once upon it in 2009. And when we built it, we had like ants on it for about 3 months because we had put too much jaggery or something in the mixture. And I was really sad that this had happened. We didn't have the technical skill. And we had interviewed the mason on the right side that you can see, and he was also very keen. And today, because of this Gagan Mahal, the same backdrop as you can see where the girls were dancing, has been restored. And now we have actually a master in this craft of building a craft. So again, through craft and adaptive uses, we have been able to create livelihoods and also an aesthetic which is very connected to the place and not from somewhere else. And uh, growth doesn't mean that you lose character. So we have created such living examples of it. Now we are going to come back to the mapping here, and unfortunately, it's not looking very good here, the map itself. But as I was explaining to you in the earlier map, we have basically created green corridors. Our thing is that make everything under the trees and all the facilities for tourism or pilgrimage, and having walking pathways that will connect everything. And we gave a proposal to the government other than the one that we had signed. I mean, in the document that we signed with the government in 2017 for the DDMP, which was Destination Development Master Plan. It actually has derailed and nothing is happening, but we have communicated this concept of reviving the Banas of Kishkinda, because Kishkinda in mythical sense was a very famous place for its forests. And as you can see, there's a quote of this that, O Raghava, this vast area is a hermitage where rest could be taken and sweet fruit and pure water could be obtained, and the forest looks like a garden. And it's still very true till today that the soil is extremely fertile, and so growing of resources is a very important aspect that in such natural destinations must happen, and we don't lose the natural heritage because of the lack of care. And these are some of the drawings. I'm sorry, there's some red lines over here which I'm not aware why. Um, but again, here, so when we're looking at infrastructure, what we are looking at, as I was saying, that the mapping is not void of the community livelihoods or engagements, is because every facility actually requires certain skill to manage and maintain. Because however beautiful the shell may be, if it doesn't have life in it, and if it doesn't have engagement of the community, and they don't have the skill to maintain it and manage it, then heritage can be a dead source. It can be just a humming thing because there is no economic benefit or whatever. So whatever it is, we have made a list over here. I will share this presentation with the group, which talks about these livelihood possibilities within the tourism or responsible tourism framework. This was actually a very sad project because we did bring in craft tourism village about 4.5 crores of amount of money from Ministry of Textiles, and Ministry of Textiles chose Anegundi as a place because we have our sister concern had done the rural tourism project and also the cottage industry, and it's a great destination. So intact, as intact, we created. This is a map, work in progress. It's complete, but we were creating the physical map that gives you an idea of what. So there were 200 houses, house fronts, which were mostly Janta houses, which we tried to bring back to kind of a local style architecture by using locally crafted pillars and things, and there were some public areas, etc. But because we, as in India, we don't actually have within our Gram Panchayat or ZP or anything, we don't have any mechanism to basically have a particular skill to give it to the local people itself, because the PWD or Nirmiti has to do it. But fussing over little things is really not their thing, and they want a big building or whatever, and where they can, we found it too complex, and it was not the state was not able to execute the project, and we went back, unfortunately. So that was a very big loss for us and artisan community, and also to create a a rural development and heritage setting. So in the small infrastructures that you can see that we have developed here, they were basically using local skills, local materials, and trying to make it as rural and yet charming with our recycled materials. This was some of the house fronts that you can see. The blue, the central house would have been the house with the ochre and red. This is how it used to look before. So we have tried to bring back in through craft tourism design programs. We have suggested these things. Like there was the element of the gate that everybody wants to make in cement and arch, whatever. So we decided that we will um, propose a restoration of a very important area gate, which is a thoroughfare. Everybody uses it in the village, and that would have been our way of recreating a beautiful arch, which is of the historic architecture. So that was also not accepted. They wanted to see a gate, and I said we already have a gate of the fortified village, which is in stone. So I think there is a little lack of vision there from the government side. But this is one of the houses that we actually did, and we did some 40 house fronts. But the work was also not done very well, and there was hardly any real engagement with that, unfortunately. And now we don't know what to do. So these are the convergences issues that we are facing. This was actually thanks to Intact. We are from the crafts wing. We have support to create, reintroduce the mat weaving, and we have started the mat weaving, which is extinct now in Koppal district. And this is some of the products that you can see because it was monsoon when this happened. We could not use the river grass, but we used the banana fiber, and you can see the new products that were developed. And we have began creating new weavers. We have reintroduced. This is some of our artisans you can see. We have also done certain like we have given systems for sustainability list, and we have done a lot of communication with the government. I think I'm now going to look for somebody who can actually track all of this and just do the communication part, so that we can push these things where we have said, suggested certain very important points for sustainability, which is very, very crucial. Because as we speak, things are developing because there are no guidelines or bylaws, or how a unit should expand, and how we can make this work so that it doesn't become like a load on the government, but it actually starts functioning. So we have given certain suggestions, and which I will definitely organize and share it also with everybody. So right now the coracle itself is in danger, which is the basketball, the traditional one. So they constantly try to stop these kind of they want motorboats. So it becomes very difficult. There's very much need for public transport that has to become something which is and also not huge buses. What happens is the size of the bus in a heritage setting must be smaller. We cannot have 40 seaters going through these things and the road being widened to 100 feet. So those are, I mean, when it comes to the RDPR or ZP or the district collector, district offices, whatever their plans are, they have to kind of be respectful to the scale of a rural space. And there's a lot of opportunity this also, as much as we try that very often people don't benefit. So this photo, just I want to show you that his Korok is empty. His the community is not really benefiting from it, but lots of people are coming, and there is opportunity. So how do we harness that? So anyway, so we have created certain experiences and we continue to do so. And like a very modern thing, the slide on the right side is about bouldering sport, which is again a very good kind of adventure sport for the area. And the left bottom was interpretation of Ramayana at a particular place. So we are working with the community in terms of theater, environment, creativity, and things like this. This is actually the list of the 64 arts which I will be sharing with everybody soon. And this was one of the dancers from our village. So we're just hoping that we'll be able to converge and make a change for rural development in a heritage setting and bring back some programs that we actually started in Anegundi-Hampi chapter. And if there's any questions, let me know. You can write me or whenever. I mean, and there's a lot more tried because it's supposed to be only for 5 minutes, so it's a very small presentation today. Thank you, everybody.